Avoiding eye contact is one early sign of autism. Learn the others today. The sooner it's diagnosed, the better.
Live with a human for a while and you get to know a few things. Like, I know she's actually not a morning person. I know she does strange tricks for no treats. I know that water makes her howl like crazy. I even know how the floor stays so clean. She's quick. But the one thing I will never for the life of me know is how she gets so tiny and inside that box. Natalie, how do you get so tiny?
Welcome back to Assembly Update. I am Assembly Member Angelo Santa Barbara. My district office in the city of Amsterdam, 1170 Riverfront Center, Amsterdam, New York, 12010. I can be reached here by phone at 518-843-0227. District office in the city of Schenectady, 433 State Street, Schenectady, New York, 12305. I can be reached by phone there at 518-382-2941, and as always by email at santabarbara@assembly.state.ny.us. Find me on Facebook or follow me on Twitter under ASM Santa Barbara and on Instagram under Assemblyman Santa Barbara. Welcome back to Assembly Update. We've been talking with Dante Gallucci and Teri Gallucci joining us, telling us an incredible story. We played on Team Dante. We still are on Team Dante, and we're fighting to make sure that you have the speediest recovery possible and get you back to playing sports and doing all those great things for Shamont High School that I graduated to from many, many years ago. But we're happy to have you there. We're happy to have you on the show. You're sharing your story, which is very important for the community watching. Your mother is here, but we also have another guest we want to introduce.
I have my dad off camera over to the side, so.
All right, so we're all going to wave to him.
Hello.
Okay, hello. And so your family has joined you. Your family has been very supportive, as well as the community. You talked about your teachers, you talked about your friends, your coaches, and the community has really come together. We talked about the game. So many people showed up and filled that arena to support you. We're going to back up just a little bit from when you were diagnosed. I know you've experienced a lot. I want to ask you about some of your experiences. Are there particular things that you remember, particular things that you want to share that people may or may not know? I know there's some traveling involved with your treatments, but there's also some things that happened along the way. I'm going to turn it over and let you share what you feel comfortable sharing.
Yeah. Well, obviously it's like the obvious hair loss, so that's one of the main things. But with the different chemos, there's different side effects. So with like different chemos, I have joint pain, a lot of joint pain, and I've had lost feeling in my feet. So I have a neuropathy in my feet, and that made it hard to walk. I'm not able to get upstairs anymore, so I lost my ability to run, like do anything more than walk with a cane. So I was also in the hospital for a couple weeks with internal bleeding all down. So this is it's not an easy thing to go through, but it's what you have to get through. And also with like steroids, when I got off of my steroids, I had a lot of pain because they dropped me off of them. So that was a hard time. No pain medicine could really get rid of the pain. So.
And you know, from that point to now, you know, what are some of the things along the way that you're going to take from this experience that are going to stay with you?
Well, like not to take things for granted. Like people take walking and playing sports and things like that for granted, and now I realize that it's more than that. For me now, it's hard to walk. I can't get upstairs. I have to use a cane when I walk, a wheelchair when I'm going places that are far distance. So it's not what I'm used to, but it's what you have to get used to.
And obviously, Teri, this is affecting the family and the community. What are some of the experiences that you have gone through along the way that you might want to share?
Yeah, I think people don't realize that with leukemia and lymphoma, there are daily visits to the hospital. We're so fortunate in our area that we have the Melody Center that treats childhood cancer. The doctors there are just absolutely tremendous, and you know, for us, you know, people say you have to go every day, and yeah, we do. You know, there's blood work, there are blood transfusions that constantly happen. You know, he really, he can't go too long without them seeing him. he's in remission. But for children with lymphoma and leukemia, and many other diseases, the doctors really need to see them on a daily or, sometimes we're weekly, but it's not very often. They follow a really extensive protocol, and just keeping that calendar it's pretty involved, and it's sort of as if this then that kind of thing. So we make plans, because I'm a huge planner, and we do a lot in the community and a lot as a family. And so for us it's been coming to grips with the fact that just because you have it scheduled, there are many days that if he's not up to doing whatever, we'll just axe it from the calendar. So we've all kind of encircled him and said, our day is going to take place as he feels it can. And so, that's a big difference, because we all left the house real early in the morning previously to having cancer. We would all leave early and get home real late. I had to travel a lot for work. Our entire lives changed. And I'm pretty much his 24/7 caregiver. We do everything together. He's, I find him humorous. I think he's got a great attitude. So it's more of a joy for me to be there for him. But I know it's difficult. And I think, my job as his mom is to keep things really, to make it uplifting and make it the best possible situation we can make it. Because, there are no choices. Parents say, how do you do this? Well, you have to do it, because it's your child, and I can't imagine anyone not doing it. But, I think we've gotten really good at seeing the positive side, and there are days it's not easy, but he's doing great with that.
And I've been following your Facebook on a daily basis, and it's great that you share.
Yeah.
And you even showed a little feelings every day. Facebook has a little feeling selection on there, but it's each step of the way, and I think it's incredible that you're sharing this story, this journey as you go through it with the community, and they stay updated. And I know you get feedback on there, and it's great to see that people are showing their support almost on a daily basis, actually.
Yeah, he has a huge following, and people that really can't begin to internalize what they would do if they were in the same situation. And I think, that's how you get the message across too, because we can go from a day where we think he's gonna get a spinal and go into maintenance, which is the monthly chemo, and we show up and they have to do a bone marrow. And a bone marrow is really, it's very painful. And so every day you have to go to the hospital knowing that something can severely change. Some parents find out the cancer has come back. Some parents, find, out good news. Or we start out our day going there thinking that we're just gonna have a finger prick and get blood tested, and we wind up doing transfusions. So, you just don't know what your day is going to look like as we wake up.
So, and for the audience, we're trying to reach as many people as we can with your story to inspire and make them aware, raise awareness. How can people watching, how can they help? What kind of support can they offer you?
Well, I would just say, get the word out there that it's childhood cancer is something that's out there, whether you see it or not. So, and if you know someone that has it, be supportive to them and understand what they're going through.
And and what you said, be supportive, whether it's a neighbor or a friend, and it's true. Just showing up to something, asking questions, finding out what's going on, it makes a difference in people's lives. It really does. And I know, Teri, you talked about several different organizations that.
Yeah, I would say that I look up to everyone now that steps up. With St. Baldrick's, people are shaving their heads, and these organizations do so many wonderful things. They're the #1 contributor to research, and the childhood cancer does not get a lot of support. And people don't know this, but some of there aren't very many medicines that treat childhood cancer, but the ones that are out there, it's not always available. And that's another thing that we need to look at. We've had a situation where Dante was supposed to take an oral chemo because he's taking several chemos at once. And we couldn't get enough for the duration that he was supposed to be on it. So it was every day checking back with the pharmacy, did the manufacturer make enough today for us to pick some up? So, you know, that's important. And just clinical trials, you know, we're on a clinical trial with Neuralabine right now, and we're very grateful because that shows promise. But again, the funding for clinical trials is not where we need it to be, especially for pediatric cancer. And if you look at, you're saying, you know, if we look at why should someone care about this? Well, because the average age, I believe, of an adult who may get cancer is 67, which means that if they're treated, they may have 10 to 15 more years of life. That's the lifespan. Children, the median age is 6. If we treat it and we beat it, there's 71 more years of life. In those 71 years, we could find a cure for something, because these are the promising people who will go into the medical field, and they may do something terrific for childhood cancer. And so, you know, the reason it doesn't get a lot of notice is because the amount of adults that are stricken with cancer far exceeds the number of children. But the benefit to treating childhood cancer could be tenfold because of the number of years you get back.
And that's a very powerful message.
And not that we don't want to treat adult cancer,
right,
because we have in our family and surrounding us so many people who are battling, and it's just the broad scope, if you look at the umbrella, what we need to be doing more of.
I want to thank you both for being on the show. Dante, I want to thank you for being here, for sharing your story.
Thank you
shared
for
it
having me.
in so many ways, and you are a true inspiration to the community and beyond, and you've touched the lives of many. It's Team Dante. I'm going to hold up your jersey one more time. Find him on Facebook. Show your support. Learn more about his story online through Facebook, or anywhere you Google Team Dante, you will find it. Thank you for joining us here on Assembly Update. Join us again where we'll talk more about inspiring stories just like Dante and his family.
Thank you.
Thank you.